I didn't flinch. Not when she said it. Not when they laughed. Not even when her father's champagne nearly spilled from the force of his smug little chuckle. This is my ex-husband. No degree, no future, just freeloads off my money. Every word hit with precision. Practiced. She'd rehearsed it. I could tell by the way her lips curved on freeload. The way her friends leaned in, already expecting the punchline. They laughed like I was the joke that made her successful. I raised my glass, looked her dead in the eyes, and smiled. Cheers, I said. This is the last time any of you will see me. Then I drank, slowly, calmly, and left before anyone could ask what I meant. We met 8 years ago at a startup conference, back when she was still humble enough to listen and I was still naive enough to believe in love that didn't keep score. She was magnetic, ambitious, the kind of woman who measured worth in progress bars and promotions. I loved that about her, at first. I was building a small app back then, barely breaking even, but it was mine. She called it cute, said she admired how passionate I was, though she never once used it. When she got promoted for the first time, I celebrated her more than she did herself. Bought her dinner I couldn't afford, wrote her a letter she never read. By the third promotion, she stopped pretending to admire me. It started with small cuts, comments about potential, about how I just needed to try harder. Then came the cold comparisons. Ethan's already managing a team. Sonia just bought a condo. I stopped being her partner. I became her project. She wanted to build me into something she could brag about. When I refused to fit her blueprint, she called me lazy. When I reminded her I was happy creating quietly, she called me aimless. And when I finally walked away from her world, she took that as betrayal. The divorce was clean, on paper, at least. I didn't fight for the house, the car, or the savings. I didn't need to. She'd already given me something better, motivation. See, she thought she'd humiliated me when she won everything. What she didn't realize was how much I'd learned from her while she was too busy gloating, how to negotiate, how to make people underestimate you, how to watch without reacting. So when I left, I didn't disappear. I just became invisible. I moved 2 cities away, started consulting quietly, remotely, under a different name. Small businesses, tech optimization. Nothing flashy. But what she never understood is that quiet work accumulates value the same way silence accumulates power. 3 years later, I owned the company she mocked my app for failing to become. I never put my name on it. That was the fun part. The first time she called me after the divorce was by accident. I could hear laughter in the background, clinking glasses. The investors just signed, babe. I told you, it's done. He's completely out. It took me a moment to realize what she meant. The company she was bragging about, the one she was selling to investors, was built on my old prototype. The same codebase she'd dismissed as useless years ago. I smiled. It wasn't theft, not technically. She'd used what she could from my old open source version, but her modifications were sloppy, insecure, and the acquisition she was celebrating. It was with my parent company. She had no idea. I let it play out, quietly, patiently. I made sure every document, every contract, every NDA, every licensing term was airtight. Her company's foundation was built on a dependency we owned. One update from us, and her entire infrastructure would collapse. Still, I waited, because revenge isn't about striking fast. It's about striking right. Then last month, I got an invitation, promotion party for Vice President Emma Clark. Her name in gold foil. I RSVP'd. The night of the party, I wore the same suit I'd worn to our wedding. Fitted. Calm. Symbolic. She looked incredible, like ambition wrapped in silk. I could almost forget who she really was. Almost. The speeches started, the drinks flowed, and when she finally took the mic, her eyes found me across the room. For a second, I saw it, the flicker of surprise. Maybe guilt. Maybe both. Then she smiled. That same condescending curve of the mouth I once mistook for affection. "And here's someone special tonight," she said. "My ex-husband. No degree, no future, just freeloads off my money." Laughter all around. Her parents. Her co-workers. Her investors. I lifted my glass. "Cheers," I said. "This is the last time any of you will see me." Silence. They thought it was a bitter ex's parting shot. They didn't know I'd already hit send on an email scheduled precisely for that moment. One line of code. One system rollback. And the servers hosting her company's entire platform began to crumble. Notifications started pinging phones across the room. Confusion spread like wildfire. Investors stepped aside to check their screens. Her assistant's face went pale. I watched the realization hit her like a slow, cold wave. "What did you do?" she whispered when she finally reached me. "Nothing," I said. "Just took back what was mine." Her company's stock plummeted before dessert was served. The acquisition deal was terminated within an hour. And as she stood there, surrounded by the same people who had just toasted her success, the laughter she'd started turned on her. I left without looking back. Outside, the night air was sharp, clean. For the first time in years, I felt the weight lift. People think revenge is about destruction. It isn't. It's about balance, restoring what was stolen, dignity, truth, self-respect. She took mine publicly. I reclaimed it the same way. Now when I think of her, I don't feel anger. I feel nothing. And nothing, I've learned, is the purest kind of peace. She was right about one thing, though. I had no degree. But tonight proved something she'll never understand. I didn't need one to graduate from.